It didn't happen in a bank vault, secured by steel and concrete. There were no guns, no masks, no high-speed getaway plan. It happened here, in a messy room under the faint blue glow of a computer screen, where the smell of cold pizza and energy drinks hung in the air. Our protagonist was not a criminal mastermind. He was Jay, 19 years old, a computer science student by day and a digital explorer by night. He wasn't looking to break things. He was just curious, exploring a new world, being built entirely out of code, a world called decentralized finance, or DEFI. For Jay, DeFi was an endless digital ocean, a wild west of algorithms and opportunity, and he, with his aging laptop, was just learning how to surf. He wasn't hunting for treasure, he was simply mapping the coastline, trying to understand the currents and the hidden undertows. The platform he was exploring was called Ethelred Protocol, a titan in the space, an autonomous decentralized bank where users had deposited billions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency to lend, borrow, and earn interest. It was considered a fortress. Its code had been audited, hailed as nearly perfect. It was the bedrock of a new financial ecosystem. 2 a.m. Tuesday. While the city slept, Jay was running a test. A simple one. He was trying to build a small arbitrage bot, an automated program that could capitalize on the tiniest price differences between various exchanges. It was an exercise, a way to sharpen his skills. He wrote a simple smart contract to interact with Ethelred, borrowing a small amount of crypto in a flash loan, executing a trade, and paying back the loan, all within a millisecond. He expected it to fail, or to make a few cents of profit. He hit execute. And that's when his world turned upside down. The transaction didn't fail, but it didn't succeed either. Instead, the impossible happened. His test wallet, which should have had a few dollars in it, was suddenly showing a different number, a number with a lot of zeros. His heart started to pound. It had to be a display error, a user interface glitch. He refreshed the page. The number was still there. He checked the blockchain explorer, the immutable public ledger of the entire network, and it confirmed it. The transaction was real. His tiny, insignificant smart contract had somehow withdrawn significantly more money than it had put in. It hadn't just borrowed, it had created money out of thin air. Over the next hour, Jay's boyish curiosity morphed into a cold, chilling dread. He hadn't found a minor bug. He had found the single loose thread that could unravel the entire tapestry. The vulnerability was something incredibly sophisticated, buried deep in the logic of Ethelred's core smart contract. Essentially, he had found a way to ask the protocol to pay him, and before the system had time to register that it had paid, he asked it again, and again, and again, all within the same transaction. It was an infinite loop, a digital ATM that would keep spitting out cash as long as you kept asking, never realizing your account was empty. He did the math. This exploit didn't just apply to his wallet. It could be used to drain all of the funds locked in the Ethelred protocol. That number wasn't in the millions. It was over $1.2 billion. The savings, the investments, the livelihoods of thousands of people around the world, all secured by a piece of code that he, a 19-year-old in his bedroom, had just proven was breakable. The screen in front of him was no longer a playground. It was a nuclear button, and his finger was hovering over it. But what do you do when you're 19, alone at 3 a.m., and you hold the keys to a kingdom you never meant to find? For a fleeting moment, his mind reeled with the possibilities. One click. He could drain millions, launder it through mixing services, disappear, and never worry about money again. He would be a ghost, a legend in the dark corners of the web. No one would ever know it was him. It was the ultimate temptation, unimaginable wealth, with no apparent consequences. The room fell silent, save for the hum of his computer and the pounding of his own heart in his ears. But then another feeling rose up, not greed, but the crushing weight of responsibility. He thought of the anonymous users, the developers who had poured their lives into this project. The entire idea of a fairer, more transparent financial system which could be destroyed by his accidental discovery. The moral crisis didn't last hours, it lasted a few tense minutes. He got up, paced his room, and then sat back down with a new resolve. He wasn't going to be a thief, he was going to be a guardian. Now he faced a different problem. How do you report a bank-breaking vulnerability to a group of anonymous developers without implicating yourself or accidentally leaking the information to bad actors? He sent an encrypted message through a secure channel to the official Ethelred contact. The message was simple. I have found a critical vulnerability in your smart contract. Do not engage in public channels. Immediate action required. He gave no details, just a warning. The silence that followed was terrifying. Hours passed. Had they seen it? Did they think it was a hoax? Or worse, were they tracing him? Finally, a reply came. Prove it. Jay's heart sank. He had to reveal a piece of his discovery, risking everything. He wrote a detailed technical explanation, redacting the most critical parts, and sent it. And then, the world exploded. On the other side, in a digital war room that spanned time zones, the core developers of Ethelred realized the horrifying truth. There was no skepticism, just pure adrenaline. They verified Jay's claim, and a shockwave went through the team. The kid was right. Their fortress was built on sand. A frantic race against time began. They invited Jay into a private, secure chat. The kid, now their most important ally, walked them through the intricate details of the exploit while they frantically coded a patch. Every minute that passed, the risk of someone else finding the same loose thread grew exponentially. After 18 straight hours of intense coding, testing, and debate, the patch was ready. They executed one of the riskiest maneuvers in the digital world, upgrading a live smart contract that held over $1 billion. It was like changing the engine on a flying airplane. But it worked. The hole was plugged in plain sight of the public. The crisis was averted. A few days later, $10 million worth of cryptocurrency was transferred to Jay's wallet. It was the largest bug bounty ever paid in the history of DeFi. He wasn't a thief. He was a hero. His life was changed forever, not because he exploited the system, but because he chose to fix it. His story became a legend, not in the underworld, but in the community of builders trying to create a better future. It served as a reminder that this brave new world, built of dreams and code, is both powerful and incredibly fragile. And sometimes, the only thing standing between order and chaos is one person, alone in a room, who chooses to pull the right thread.